I'm John Miglash with the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Coming to you live from Heartland, Wisconsin. Off we go to check on the news. Okay, and here we go. And first we want to start with a cute little commercial.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
I like it.
This little light
Lets
of
me sip my
mine,
coffee. That's my engine.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine.
There you go. Thank you. I need a better mask.
Let it shine, let it shine.
Oh, he walks right over it. That wasn't good. Okay. And now this is something really unusual. You are not going to see this many places. It's only got 24 views in the whole world. Here we go. Scenes from the quarantine. The Clorox wipes have finally arrived. Whoa, good. I just used the last one to wipe down the groceries. Yay! Oh, joyous day. Hugs. Wait a second. What are we going to wipe the box with? The end. And that comes to you from Margaret Magnarelli. Margaret Magnarelli, do not ingest Clorox wipes. Good Lord. Yeah, there's Margaret Magnarelli. Okay, way to go, Margaret. Let's retweet that one. Retweet. Okay, make our day. And all it was with a couple of Legos. And how do you wipe down the box when you get done? Sorry, it was probably not that funny. Anyway, Amazon's worker activists form the International Organization to Demand Change in Warehouses. Okay, I'm not sure if this is a union exactly or what it is, but I thought it was interesting. There was a hot mic I didn't really listen to it, but it just went by a couple of weeks ago, where they say Jeff Bezos was saying that worker diversity kept them from organizing. Well, either Amazon's gotten less diverse or didn't matter. His theory was wrong, or it postponed it a couple of years, but it sounds like them workers is organized from Chicken Run. Okay, Best Buy plans to reopen some stores by appointment only. I don't know what that means. It's like, I got to make an appointment to go into Best Buy? Maybe you sit in the parking lot until they let you in. I don't know. It makes me crazy. I don't need an appointment to go to my grocery store, and I can buy most of Best Buy's stuff online. Okay, so but they are one of the first retailers. Best Buy is one of the first retailers to plan a reopening. And that's at least decent. Okay? This shows that the consumer electronics retailer is prioritizing getting its stores open and some of its employees back to work. Yeah. But who knows? Anyway, and they have a pretty good e-commerce. I love, what works best at Best Buy and has for like a decade is you go online and you check the inventory of your store and then you order it and you can get it. Now, that may be what they're talking about. Maybe they'll bring it out to you now. That's what they should be doing. But I don't see that explicitly, but maybe Total Retail doesn't know about that. Okay, Google Meet is now free to anyone. And I'm not exactly sure what Google Meet's about, but we'll go show you a little picture of it. Okay, this is Google Meet Premium Video free for everyone. And we use Google Hangouts, we use Google Duo, and of course we use WhatsApp, and we use a lot of stuff. I think my wife even uses FaceTime and Zoom for her jazzercise class. So there's a lot of stuff out here, and Google Meet Premium Video Meetings, free for everyone. Anyway, I just filled out a notification, so when it comes on, I will show you, and that's all I can do for you right now because they don't seem to let me have it. Here's an article by Jay Carroll from Target Marketing Magazine talking about direct mail in times of uncertainty, either demand, and you can evaluate your direct mail potential. He says, either your demand is so high. I have a couple of catalog clients that are doing very well. If you're selling home fitness or streaming services, or your brand is so low, like travel or hospitality industries, that doesn't make sense. But for the other 80%, it might make sense. I wasn't very happy with this article because if you're testing direct mail, the first thing you want to do is a holdout test. And the first people you want to mail to are your customers because you know their address and you know what they bought. And so there's a possibility of segmentation with those that are far beyond the possibility of segmentation with customer acquisition, or win back is for old, mostly dead customers. Very difficult to do because most of the lost customers or the old customers only bought once, they haven't bought lately, and they didn't spend much. And that's about 60% of your file. So if you've been in business for a while. So very difficult, darn near impossible if you don't know what you're doing in mail. Cross-sell, upsell, it's hard to anticipate what you're going to want to buy next for anybody. For me, about myself. And so don't think you can necessarily predict it. Much better with, I think, with retargeting or some kind of shopping cart abandonment that's real-time or very close to real-time. No, this is all completely false. The way to do it, and I've shared this with you on the Lovesack case study, the way to tiptoe into mail is to mail your customers and then do a holdout test where you don't mail 100% of them, you mail like 90%, and you don't mail 10%, and you keep track of those. And it's a little more complicated than that, but let's say. And then you see the actual impact of what people who didn't get mailed bought and what people who did get mailed didn't buy. What's the differential? Okay? And because mail is high engagement, we have an embedded label data set, which is what you need. That's how you tell what's going on. And so, consequently, therefore, whereupon, that's totally wrong. Totally wrong article. Sorry about that, Target Marketing. Lazy imaginations. This was an interesting one by a guy named Andrew Bolton, who's an ad agency lecturer. I don't exactly know what that is. Creative advertising lecturer. But he said, we need find time to be lazy in lockdown. Peter Tchaikovsky said, inspiration is a guest that does not willingly visit the lazy. There's something to that, I think. There's something to, I'm supposed to be working on a patent, and I'm just struggling with working on it because I don't feel like working much these days while my friends are getting paid to sit home and do nothing. And if I don't get off my butt, it's never going to get written. And if I don't get it written, it's probably never going to change the world, or not for a long time, because I'll be gone. And so there is something to diligence. And interestingly, Andrew, if you hadn't taken the time to write this article, which is probably worth the time to read, we would never have known your perspective. So there is, while creativity in some abstract theoretical sense is possible, inspiration is possible, but inspiration without the prophet confronting the king amounts to nothing, not a hill of beans. So I would say inspiration may arrive, but if you haven't taken the time to learn to play the piano or learn to write down the notes, that stuff takes time, it takes training, it takes diligence. So Andrew thinks this is false, but I'm going to give Tchaikovsky the benefit of the doubt since I've heard of him and I'd never heard of Andrew Bolton. But that said, he's got a lot of interesting quotes from a guy named Montaigne, who said things like, read a lot, forget most of what you read, and be slow-witted. Now that could apply to your host right here. Slowness, in that chapter, Bakewell, I don't know who Bakewell is either, but, could be a philosopher, said that for Montaigne, slowness opened the way to wisdom and to a spirit of moderation that offset the excess and zealotry dominating the France of his time. Okay. According to Bakewell, Free him to think wisely rather than glibly. Avoid the fanatical notions and foolish deceptions that ensnare other people. That's what we're giving you here about marketing. We don't let you go to the glibly manifested fake news buzzwords. We're big into buzzwords in marketing. So creativity does not subscribe to doctrine, but it follows along some paths. I highly recommend Scientific Advertising at scientificadvertising.com if you want to read about what works in advertising. Creativity may be overrated, but Bertrand Russell says it's important not to be swallowed into the cult of efficiency. But I do have a kind of a formula. I get up in the morning, make some coffee, and read about 40 articles and look over about 100 or more, see what's what in the morning. So, the conclusion, you can only waste time relative to some context or goal. In fact, you can only waste time if your time would be more productively spent in some other endeavor. If you can't figure out a productive endeavor, then you're not wasting much because it isn't worth much. Just FYI. And let's go to the conclusion, right? The real trouble comes when people who do know how to do nothing are made to feel like they are achieving nothing. Creativity, I believe, comes frequently from stillness. It rarely comes from frenzy. And that's kind of an orthodox thing. My father raised me, and my mother called me slovenly. My father, whenever I'd sit down and play the piano, which I was mainly self-taught, but good enough to play get paid to play a couple of times, and play publicly. So my father would immediately assume I wasn't doing much of anything and would drag me to some trivial cleaning task that he thought was essential. And my mother, would ask me to go take out the trash, and I would say, "Does the trash really exist?" And she'd say, "Don't give me that philosophy. I know the answer." Wise, wise woman, that mother of mine. So all of that boiled down, you need some wisdom, you need some time alone, but I think the conversations are getting shorter all of a sudden because we have free communication and nothing to say. So take some time to think. Take some time to sit down with a good book or even a good video. Have a great day. Like and share. I'm supposed to give you a call to action. Call me. John at LinkedIn, John Miglosh. Or it's linkedin.com/John Miglosh, I think is really the it. And reach out. I always answer my messages. Have a great day. Bye-bye.